All right. Hello, Shanta. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for finally having this conversation with me. I think we had been trying to connect with each other for a long time, and sometime you were not available. One time I was not available, but I'm really glad that today we are finally here and we are having this conversation. So, welcome to the show, first of all, and thank you so much once again for taking time out. Let's start with how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for inviting me. I know it has been a long awaited session, maybe like 2 or 3 months we have been planning. And
Right.
yeah, finally, I am relieved that I'm able to do this session with you. So nothing came in between today. Yeah, I'm doing pretty
Right.
well.
Mm.
The weather is quite hot here for some reason. I don't know. I was expecting December to be winter, but it is almost like
Mm.
summer. Really hot.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Also, when I was traveling. I told you the last week I was traveling. So before we left, Pune was quite chilly. Okay, when we went to Jaipur and Udaipur, it was really chilly there. It was like 11, 12 degrees, and we were feeling really cold. But the moment we came back yesterday, it is so hot. Like we are feeling as if it's summer season here. So I can relate to it when you say that it's very hot at your place as well. I don't know what's
Yes.
going on with weather these days.
How was your trip?
My trip was great. I had a wonderful time. I'm very fond of historical places. So I went to Udaipur and Jaipur, and both of them were really fascinating. So had a wonderful time.
Yes, I think past month or something you had even been to Hampi.
Yes, I went to Hampi in October.
Okay, that's very close to my hometown where I grew up.
Oh,
So I
is
just saw the
it?
status. Yeah, and I saw it. Like, how did you
Ah.
like it?
I loved it. I loved Hampi, and the kind of fascinating stories that you can hear when you go to those places, and when you see the brilliance of architecture and the history that our country has. It really amazes you that now we are struggling so much trying to be a nation that is that is well established. But if you look at our past, like we have so rich culture and history, and our ancestors used to be so intelligent. That is something really to be proud of, I feel.
And also you end up thinking, how was this possible? Like, sculpting.
Hmm.
And it's I think UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? Hampi
Yes,
comes under.
yes,
And
correct.
I think it's
Yes.
really worth it because you have some things which do not have an answer to. So,
Correct.
yeah.
That is true. I agree with that. So have you visited Hampi?
Oh, a lot of times because I grew up
Hmm.
like maybe 50 kilometers away from Hampi. So, whoever came
Wow.
to my hometown, we would take them to Hampi. Then we would take to see the dam, which is in Hospet.
Ah,
It's called Tungabhadra
correct.
Dam, TB.
Hmm.
So, that is worth a visit. So, yeah, these both we would cover all the time.
Wonderful. That's great. All right. So let's get started with this much awaited session. And to begin with, Shanta, we all know who is Shanta today. Like everybody knows Shanta. She is so popular on YouTube. But I would want to start from the very beginning. Who was Shanta before YouTube happened? And what is it about you? What is your story? Why don't you share that a little bit with us?
My story is that of a regular homemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Just before YouTube, I had taken a gap of like 10 years. I wasn't working for 10 years. So all I was
Mm-hmm.
doing was making, looking after children. Yes, it was there within me to do something on my own, of my
Right.
own, for my sake. But
Mm.
then we, I didn't know what to do, honestly, because I didn't want to do a full-time job. I
Mm.
wanted to do YouTube, but then I was not very sure about the niche. What should I do on YouTube?
Mm.
Because I was not very
Right.
comfortable being on social media either. So I was thinking, but then I didn't want to sit like that because homemaking is
Hmm.
a thing which I think everybody can do. I was
Hmm.
like, I have studied a lot and I've, really worked hard to get a degree and be good at studies and everything. So then I was thinking, what next to do? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be recognized just as a homemaker. Okay, because
Hmm.
people that she's working at home or she's a homemaker. They said, no, she doesn't do anything. That becomes your
Hmm.
identity. I didn't want
Correct.
that. So I tried different things of what to do, like work from home stuff. Later, I ended up being a trainer on Inktalki, which happened by accident.
Hmm.
Later, I started my own channel so that I don't have to be answerable to anybody. And also, you know how it is working on different platform versus working for
Right.
yourself. You have done it as well. So yeah, that's how YouTube happened. And before that, I was a regular homemaker with, somewhat you feel worthless when you're just a homemaker.
Yeah.
I think people will be able to relate to what I'm saying. Yeah, but finally,
Absolutely.
YouTube has
Yeah.
happened because that was not the place that I envisioned myself to be. Like, just be a
Hmm.
homemaker, as an engineer, and I envisioned myself to be somewhere else doing something else. But YouTube
Hmm.
is okay, not in terms of monetary benefits, but still the satisfaction and the respect that I'm getting, it's okay.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yes, I agree to that. And did you like, when you started your YouTube journey, did you feel or did you envision that, okay, it is going to be this big or I am going to be this popular one day? Was that your thought when you started, or was it something that took you by surprise?
Honestly, I didn't know what the growth trajectory will be of a person when they start
Hmm.
YouTube. So, how soon
Right.
they will get 1,000 subscribers or where they will reach after 1 year. I had not done any research
Hmm.
on that. And
Right.
I'm not ambitious. I was doing this because I wanted to do it. Like, I just wanted to keep
Hmm.
myself occupied without feeling otherwise or getting bored. Keep your
Hmm.
mind busy with something. And the best way is talking
Correct.
to people. So that is how I
Hmm.
start. And I like when you're not expecting anything out of something, so good or bad doesn't affect you much. So that happened,
Correct.
and I honestly don't feel like it is a big deal or I'm popular. Kind of scares me.
Hmm.
It's just I'm doing my job. So I mean, 1 year,
Hmm.
50 subscribers, there are people who have done better. So there's nothing to be
Correct.
proud of or feeling low about because I don't compare with
Hmm.
anyone. So
Right. Right.
no feelings. I'm just doing my work. That's all.
Wonderful. I really relate to that feeling that you are talking about because, I also, when I started it, I did not have anything in mind, right? I never had that goal that, okay, I want these many subscribers or I want these many views or anything. The only thing I wanted to do was, because many of my students, they were already posting my videos that they were having the classes with me. They were already posting those videos on YouTube.
Mm.
And it was mostly them who said that, ma'am, why don't you open your own channel? Why don't you do it? It will be fun. You will see that, there are a lot of people that you can connect with. So the only thing I had in mind was, if I'm doing something on my own, then why not have an active social media platform? So
Mm.
I tried Instagram. I'm still there on Instagram, but it is mostly the short videos that you can put, only reels, right? It's only YouTube that gives you that opportunity to put long form videos. So that's how
Yes.
my YouTube journey started. And then when now people tell me that, okay, ma'am, we love listening to you and this and that, the only thing that I feel is, it's just very satisfying that people are recognizing the effort that you are putting in and you are able to connect with so many people and have conversations. I feel that is something that really gives me a lot of happiness, because as a trainer, getting to know more people or being in contact with more people is something that is really satisfying and encouraging. So I feel YouTube is that one part which lets me do that. And that's how I feel about YouTube. So I could really relate to when you were talking about it and,
Yeah.
agree to the things that you were telling. Wonderful.
Mhm.
So that's a beautiful journey, I would say. Yes, sometimes we may feel that, okay, if somebody is a housewife, it's a very thankless job, of course. But there is a lot of hard work and a lot of effort that anyone has to put in. And I would say not only just housewives. I would say now that you are established and you are doing something on your own, you still have a lot of burden on your shoulder. You have to balance your home, you have to balance your work. So in general, I would say women are doing a lot of things all together, right? And they are juggling with a lot of responsibilities.
Yes, yes. And there are people who are doing homemaking. They have a full-time job and they're doing
Yes.
YouTube as well. So when I look up to them, oh God, how is it possible? Because
How is
only
it?
you itself sometimes feels like even you are training people, then you're managing YouTube, you're managing your house also. So then I feel what
Correct.
I'm doing is not much, honestly. So I'm doing just YouTube and homemaking. But it's okay. We shouldn't like compare ourselves with anybody else
True.
because we have our own share of struggles, and you never know unless you're in that person's shoe what is happening with them and
Correct.
what's happening with us. So it's okay.
Mm,
You can, yeah, have your own pace. Do what you how much you
absolutely.
can. Yeah, there's no need to push yourself by looking at others. If you can do it, do it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree to that, that sometimes I feel, I wonder that why do people keep comparing themselves with others? Because at the end of the day, we all have our own story and we all have our own journey, right? It is just, what I feel is we should just focus on making our own journey worthwhile and also enjoy the little things in life. That is also very important because I see
Mm.
so many people running after, achieving targets, getting to success. And the definition of success is so different for different people that sometimes they forget to enjoy the little things. Sometimes they forget to cherish the time that they have with their loved ones, with their families. But I really like when somebody tells me that I am not comparing or competing with anybody else. I'm just trying to do whatever best I can. I think that's one of the most wonderful ways to live your life.
Right. It's okay to get inspired by them, but just be
Hmm.
yourself. It's okay to be inspired, but don't wish to be like somebody else. Be the best version of
Yes.
yourself.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. All right. So, Shanta, tell me this. Now that you have been in the field of like mentoring or training people from different parts of the country, and the kind of experience that you have gone through in your own journey of teaching or training, what do you think are some of the most challenging areas when it comes to teaching the English language to people in our country? What do you think are the most common challenges that you face?
Okay, as in a trainer or as a person who is learning English, their challenges or our
Mm,
challenges?
no, as a trainer, what are the challenges as a teacher or a trainer that you face generally?
Okay. So the format that I usually used while training learners was I train only for spoken English. That means to say having more of conversations on different topics. So I do not train
Mm,
things like grammar. So that is not what I'm qualified for and not my area of
mm,
interest as well. So I
correct.
learned English naturally, like my mother tongue. So if you ask me, like, first form of the verb plus this is why, I won't be able to answer that. Maybe I will learn and then teach you, but I mainly
Mm,
train people for spoken English. So when that comes, I think there are not much challenges because at whatever level you are, at least you're able to talk in English. So then I would just
mm,
correct them. Okay, this has to be this has to be this. But the problem comes
mm,
when learners are not, they're talking to you for 20, 25 minutes, whatever, but they're not
mm,
implementing. The rest of the day, they go around talking the native language, and that will not show
mm,
progress. So the next time they are making the same mistake again. So that becomes a little annoying for you because you keep correcting them for the same very mistake that they are making
yeah.
since the beginning.
Mm,
So when you don't see progress, you don't feel much interested as a trainer to train the people. If they are
mm,
interested from their end, they are implementing what you're telling them and they are correcting their mistakes. Okay, it happens by habit. But after telling them, they know that that is wrong. So just stop and sorry, I did made a mistake again.
mm,
Correct their sentence. If they do, you will feel okay. I told them and they are implementing. They remember that. So that time you are more interested to make them, better or see their progress. So other than that, I did not feel any challenges as in being a trainer because obviously I didn't
mm,
do it for a very long. For a few months I was on Inktalki. Then for a few months I trained after starting my YouTube channel, but then I stopped. I am not
mm.
training any. So right now I'm focusing only on YouTube.
Wonderful. I think you highlighted one of the most common, and I think it is one of the major problems of every trainer. If we look at it, that you give feedback, you tell them how to work on it, you tell them what is the path to follow, but then they do not do it. So it's like, you can only push them till one extent, but the action is something that needs to be taken by the trainee. And that is something most learners do not realize. And then they feel, oh, I'm attending classes for so long and nothing is happening, right? So I think that is one of the most important things that you highlighted, and thank you for highlighting that part. I totally agree with you on that front.
Hmm.
Now, when you talk about this, there is one similar problem that the trainees feel often, and I want to know your take on that. Most often than not, they will say that, I have come to this one level and now I feel I'm stuck. I cannot go beyond this level. Like I started as a beginner, now I'm at an intermediate level, but I want to become an advanced speaker, but somehow I'm not able to go beyond this mark that I am at currently. What do you think, are the reasons that somebody gets stuck at a certain level and they cannot grow beyond that?
I think as a beginner, when you start, it is quite easy for you to reach to the intermediate level because there are
Hmm.
very basic sentence structures, basic words involved. Like if you know 100 to 200 words of any language, so you will be able to speak 50% of the language. So that is enough.
Right.
But when you go from intermediate to advanced level, you need more than 10,000 words. That will require a
Hmm.
lot more of reading. Like for hours together, you have to read a lot. You have to read advanced stuff, international authors. You will have to put in extra effort. Reaching from basic to intermediate is quite easy, I would say. From there on, it is quite difficult and very
Hmm.
time consuming. It will take you years to reach there, but basic to the
Hmm.
middle you can reach easily. So that is why a lot of people feel that they are stuck, especially when they come to the intermediate level. At that time, you have to focus more on building your vocabulary, on your sorry pronunciation, okay,
Hmm.
and getting of your
Correct.
MTI as well. Then people start focusing on accent also. Though I don't think it
Hmm.
comes into picture when you're learning any language, coming from
Correct.
intermediate to advanced, accent doesn't come. The right pronunciation,
Hmm.
getting rid of your MTI, mother tongue
Yes.
influence. So I think these are like very big challenges for people to get rid of. That will be the last
Hmm.
thing you'll get rid of in your learning journey. So
Correct.
very few people are able to do it efficiently. Even if you see
Hmm.
advanced speakers, when they talk in English, somehow you are able to recognize where they come from, which state of
Hmm.
India. Some parts of pronunciation is like that. So
Correct.
yeah, that is what I think people are. It's very difficult to get rid of that. And for
Hmm.
years together, you're pronouncing a word in a certain way, then to change it is difficult. So,
Correct.
keeping all this in mind, I think people are feeling stuck and I'm not able to improve. So, they just have to
Right.
remember it's take a lot of time, and it is not the same techniques what you did from basic to intermediate. From intermediate to advanced, there is a lot more of reading to do, listening to advanced
Hmm.
stuff, talking to advanced speakers. So, all of that, yeah, it will involve all of it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree to what you said right there. And that reminds me, there are so many times that somebody would tell me that, ma'am, I want to get to the advanced level. I want to become a public speaker. I want to become a trainer. But when you tell them that, okay, try and watch this specific web series or this English movie and come and tell me what you learned from it, or what was the story, or what was the summary. The most common answer I get is, ma'am, it was very difficult. I did not understand anything. So, that effort part that you were talking about, I keep telling them, if you cannot understand a line in one go, you have to pause, you have to repeat, you can slow down the pace, and you can try and listen to the words. No, the accent is very hard, it's very difficult. So, mostly I see that they're very scared to take that step in order to understand something that is difficult, which is again another hindrance in their learning journey, because you are not putting in the effort, so you are not getting the results out of it. So I agree to the fact when you say that, this is what happens, or these are the areas where which creates that roadblock for a learner's path. Okay, thank you for sharing those. All right. So the next thing that I would want to ask you, it has got nothing to do with English, but coming back to your YouTube journey, Shanta, what do you think, or how would you define your overall journey on YouTube? You have spoken about the fact that, okay, you feel it is, it is just normal and you're doing your work. But if I ask you to talk about, two or three defining moments, or two or three moments where you felt really happy about your journey, are there any specific moments or memories?
Okay, so I have had a lot of conversations, so maybe around 500 or so, including when I was a trainer and after starting my YouTube. So there are
Mm,
so many conversations, and it would be unfair for me to pick top three or some best moments because every interaction has taught me something, and it has been
yes.
special in its own way. So it will also
Mm,
be unfair if I point to only three because I've enjoyed them all of them. I've enjoyed all of them, and there was
right.
some takeaway from every conversation. So my channel is not only about English learning. It is happening. If people have questions regarding English learning, we tackle with that. But it is also about life lessons, their points
Mm,
on different thoughts or different topics. So it has been like that, my channel. So there is so much that I learned from other people because they come from different walks of life, from different phases. Some are like children, so middle aged, 60 plus, retired. So I
mm,
have enjoyed every conversation and I have learned a lot from each person, and it has been
mm,
rewarding. The thing is the bonding that continued even after outside of YouTube. So that is going to be
right.
memorable for me because I have been in
Mm,
touch with very few people. Because if you meet
mm.
like 100 people, just one or two resonate with you, and you're going to
Correct.
have a
Yes.
bonding with them. So that
Mm,
is the biggest takeaway from all the interactions, whatever happened. So I wouldn't want to
mm.
point out three. That's going to be really difficult. Everything was very good and rewarding. I enjoyed each interaction that I've had. Yes, there have been some boring ones, but I don't remember them. Most of
Yeah.
them I have enjoyed.
Right. I think you very nicely summed that up, and I can very well relate to that, because all the interactions that even I have, all of them are very special in their own way. Of course, there are one or two here and there that you don't really enjoy, but most of them are absolutely very unique, and it's not just the other person who is taking away from you something during that session. You are also taking away quite a few things from that session. So I think it's a very fruitful two-way conversation.
Yes, totally agree to that.
Mm. All right. So Shanta, earlier you said that you have, self-taught English as a language, right? So what is your take on self-learning? How effective do you think it is? And what do you think is the most effective way of self-learning?
The most effective way is immersing yourself with the language. You just keep reading, listening, watching, and talking only in English. That is the only way
Right.
because English has to become your habit. It shouldn't
Mm,
be like a task to you. This is my English
mm,
learning time, and you talk English for that duration. So I don't think that is the
correct.
best way. Throughout the day, you
Mm,
have to immerse yourself in the language. Keep talking, recording yourself, watching content. That way, only English will be playing in your mind. So once you get the
correct.
thought process in English, it becomes easier for you to answer a person when they're talking in English. So otherwise,
Mm,
translating and talking, that's going to take time, and it will also demotivate you. And it requires a lot of
mm,
motivation and consistency if you're self-learning because you are your boss. So nobody is going to ask you. You have to track your own
mm,
progress. So you have to see how you're improving. You have to force yourself. Like not force because once you start enjoying the process, you will automatically be into it. You don't have to force yourself to do it.
mm,
So yeah, if
correct.
you self learn, just be. It will require a great deal of motivation. But if you're paid somebody to teach you, so the money will motivate you. That I've paid them and I have to do
Mm,
this session. That's the difference.
true. True, I 100% agree to that. Also, the thing about accountability that you spoke about, I think that is also something which is very relevant, because if you are self learning, somewhere down the line you lose that accountability. And also I feel there is one more thing that you have to be very judicious about and very cautious about, is the feedback. Because when you are self learning, there is no way that you are getting that feedback. So you have to be somebody who is very determined about your progress, that you look for feedback from whatever areas that you can, or be creative with your approach to learning, so that you can receive feedback and see what are the mistakes that you are making. So I think you covered quite a few interesting points. And how difficult or how easy would you rate your self learning journey to be?
I did not think of it as, learning. Now, for example, if you ask me how difficult was learning Kannada for you, so
Mm,
it will be the same answer. So I was just surrounded. I studied in English
mm,
medium, so I did not feel that it is difficult to learn this language. It is not
mm,
actually. When you're surrounded by any language, you automatically get into it. I also live in the border
correct.
of Andhra and Telangana, so Telugu also
Mm,
came to me. So I didn't feel it was difficult. I lived in Chennai, so Tamil
mm,
was difficult for me to pronounce. I mean to talk because I
mm,
had for 9 months, but I was able to understand. So that notion,
mm,
oh, this is difficult. Language is not difficult for you. Maybe subject might be difficult for you to study,
mm.
right? But language is something which will come naturally to you if you're really interested,
Right.
surrounded with the language. There's no like easy or difficult language. It will just come to you. If you like it, it will come to you.
Absolutely. You have very nicely summed up that entire thing. And I'm sure that all our viewers watching us today is definitely going to take away a lot of important pointers from there, from your journey, from your ways that you have suggested. But before we wrap up the session, I would definitely want to ask you, what will be your mantra of success that you would want to share with our learners today?
Mantra of success in sense of YouTube or language learning.
It can be anything, like whenever they want to achieve something, any goal in their life. It can be YouTube, it can be a language, it can be a certain job interview, any goal that they have. What would be your suggestion or your mantra of success for them to achieve a goal?
Yes, like as you already quoted earlier, success is like, different for every person and it keeps
Hmm.
changing. So it is okay to strive and have a goal in your life and think about it. But if things are not working in your favor and in spite of trying a lot, you're not able to go there, maybe that is not where you are meant to be. You
Hmm.
see where maybe something else because my goal was to be an engineer and be working abroad and, earning a lot of money. But it is not worthy. You just live your life
Hmm.
and you have your own boundaries. So it is not, you cannot be like, do or die. Nothing is so much worth for you, like, to die for. You just do
Hmm.
it.
Correct.
Do it. That's all. If you can, you do it. So that has been my mantra actually. Maybe people will not resonate with
Hmm.
it because I am a little bit easygoing. It's okay. I believe in living life and not putting it all at
Hmm.
um, just keep struggling and achieve. That is my goal. I have to achieve it. Give up on your sleep, give
Hmm.
up on your food, and keep walking in the same direction. I don't believe in that. It is okay. But if you want to, like, if you're really hardworking, and there might be things like, getting a job, which is mandatory for everyone, just be consistent. Okay, if you have your clear goal, be consistent with it. Give it your best, I would say. Give it your
Hmm.
best. And if it is meant for you, you will definitely achieve it. Give it time. So do not jump into conclusions immediately. Give it
Hmm.
time and see if it is really worth, you will get it.
Wonderful. I think that was very beautiful. And I don't know about others, but I definitely resonate with you, because I'm also somebody who believes in the same thing. And I keep telling people about it, that, don't just run after what you called success in the material terms, but also try and see if you are a successful human being, if you're a successful family member, if you're a successful person where you are able to take care of yourself. Because I heard somewhere a few days ago that your body is the biggest asset that you will ever have in life, right?
Yes.
So if you are ignoring your health, if you're ignoring your body for anything, that's not worth it.
Mm.
So it really resonated with me that yes, you can't be like compromising on your health with anything in the world, right? So I
Yes.
absolutely agree with what you said. And thank you so much for all those beautiful and wonderful thoughts that you have shared with us today. I
Mm.
had a wonderful time talking to you because I always enjoy connecting with you and talking to you, listening to your videos, because you have this very calm and composed demeanor that you carry all the time with a smile on your face. That is something which is very soothing. So, thank you so much once again, Shanta, for taking time out for today's session. In future, I would definitely want to connect with you once again and collaborate on something else. But
Mm.
today, thank you once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much. I enjoy the conversation as well, and given the amount of experience and interactions that you have had, so I'm just trying to learn all the time. How to not forget things in between, because sometimes I become very fast when I'm talking. So having the same
Mm.
pace and having a smile all the time, because you are a professional, right? So I come from a different background with no experience of doing things. So I always try to learn from you. So thank you so much for having me and being patient till we had this session. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Shanta. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.
Okay, you
Bye.
too. Bye.